Hey everyone, it's Nathis, and I'm here with my sixth The Last Winter booster kit opening out of my Kickstarter product that I just received. So I'm really excited to open some more of this. I've hit really well so far. I know I've said this in I think all the videos, but I've got some really cool soul binds. I've got some really cool betrayers. So overall, I'm hoping that we could keep this up. Um, and actually, we're seeing a couple new cards that we haven't seen yet as well. So that's also really exciting. So we're going to start with our Loyan. We got a Loyan Monolith on the front, was actually one of my spoiler cards, which was cool to kind of open this in person. There's a few cards actually that we've opened that have been spoilers of mine. I guess because I turned this upside down, we know there's no Exalt. But this is a card that I kind of, as I'm trying to open this, I undervalued a lot until I saw it played and sealed. And I'm like, this is a little better than I gave it credit. Which we'll explain in a minute what it does and why I think it's a little better than I initially targeted. So Stoneblade, if you're watching, pull tabs, please. Because I feel like it's like I'm always close to destroying or damaging decks, and I know it'll be really nice to be able to open this nice and easy. So Alolan Monolith, you could upgrade a card in your hand at level 3. At level 1s and 2, you discard it. Then you could activate to destroy this to give a creature armor. So the fact that this just sits in a lane for Exalted, and you upgrade something at the bare minimum, and you could give something armor, just ends up being a lot more value than I gave it credit for. Ooh, we got a Sculptor. I forgot Sculptor was in the set. We got Electronet. We've got Forge Plate Yeti, one of those rares that I've been seeing more commons with the Lightforge Sentry back to back. We've got a Mobilizing Specimen, so that one's 18 health, so 18 damage, and it gives something mobility. Palladium Pulse Mage. We got a Portatron 2000. We got a Reconstruct and a Venerable Scavenger. This comes with a Crux with Shattered Psyche at level 2, Unify level 3, and Determined Choice at level 4. So this deck is interesting because a lot of the cards that make it pretty strong are cards from previous sets. But Reconstruct, being able to play it for free, being able to upgrade it with either the Ardent Sculptor or the Alolan Mono could be really, really strong. Electronet's always a great card in the current meta. Palladium Pulse Mage, just being removal, can be pretty strong. There's not really a lot of other removal in this deck, so you almost need to pair it with a removal heavy list. But Specimen is interesting. It's something that I guess you could technically use as a target for your Palladium Pulse Mage, or hope that you don't take damage, but that's not always easy with some of these other cards that just deal direct damage. So overall, I feel like this is interesting. Just the Pulse Mage with the Sculptor make me really look at this list, especially with multiple ways to upgrade that Reconstruct so it's free the rest of the game. So on an Alolan scale, this is pretty strong. Although I keep seeing a lot more set 1 and 2 cards on Alolan when I really want to be seeing more set 3 cards. So that's kind of my one complaint out of these Alolan decks so far. We will go Tempest next, seeing our friend Blizzard Shaman from previous sets. I feel like I'm happy that Blizzard Shaman's in set 3. It's always a card I like to see, especially with ways to kind of reactivate it. So we got Blizzard Shaman, Chain Lightning. So I like this card a lot. So it's you play Spell Spawns or Spell Sprites, and whenever you give a creature attack this turn, you could deal damage to an enemy player. So this with like a Thunder Crash field, but you basically need a Betrayer of one or the other, could be a pretty crazy turn when you put the two together. We've got Deep Frost Hills. We've got Fire Branding Smash Fist. We got Fleet Giant. We've got Flaming Hawk Rider. We've got Lava Field Watchdog. Nargoth Commander. Sparking Warhound. Stampeding Mongosaur. With a Sunder with Outwit at level 2, Summon the Swarm at level 3, and Reclaim at level 4. So I keep mentioning this, but I feel like most of these decks that I've opened so far have like a patch of like 3 or 4 cards that I keep seeing. Like I've seen Deep Frost Hills in a ton. I've seen Hawk Rider and Smash Fist in a ton. I feel like almost every deck that I've opened has had a Nargoth Commander with a Lava Field Watchdog and a Mongosaur. So I don't know if this is just they happen to be on a similar portion of the algorithm, where it's just I keep hitting stuff of like similar manner. But that's something that, like, obviously if you keep hitting groupings of cards that are really strong together, like, you're pretty thrilled because, hey, wow, I just opened a ton of decks with that same grouping. But I do feel like there's been a little bit of a lack of variety, specifically in the Tempest side that I've been opening. But overall, Charmander is pretty strong in this set, and I definitely like don't hate Lava Field Watchdog. The more I see it, the less excited I am, just because I'm like, all right, I want to see some other cards. But overall, this is an interesting list. Nothing I would say that's like super super crazy to me, but I guess you have that combo with Chain Lightning and Commander, as well as like Chain Lightning with the Smash Fist or the Hawk Rider. So there are ways to kind of take advantage of Chain Lightning, but I feel like the spell count's just a little too low, and there's not enough ways to make spell sprites, because I think spell sprites with Chain Lightning really are what you need to take the most advantage of it. Next, we're going to open our Terra. Let's see if we get another Lycian Shard, because I feel like that's the card that we keep seeing on the Utera side. Or Utera Forebear. I feel like those two have been in every deck. So we got a Biding Aetherhound, which is new. So the Aetherhound has, if this is replaced a creature, this gets 5 health and you gain 5 health. So that's pretty strong. Carnivorous Taro. So that's life gain with Carnivorous Taro, which is great. We got Everflow Eidolon. There is the Lycian Shard. Next time, I think I should put money on if I'm going to open a Lycian Shard. Nature's Progression. Pack Slayer. Shepherding Willow. Got a Spiky Wildman. A Stout Bear. And a Torgmai Mender. So you could choose a creature type, give each creature of that type plus 3 health. And then we've got a Nova, with Nova's Might at level 2, Crimson Thorn at level 3, and United's one at level 4. So I think just from a sealed effect, having multiple cards with life gain could be pretty strong. I guess there's 1, 2, 3 total. So I definitely feel like Taro is just such a bomb in like this set that I would probably push this specific list because of that. Overall, I feel like it's not super aggressive. I don't think it's doing enough to potentially just like be like a top tier sealed deck. But overall, I guess there's nothing that's like super dead. I think Stout Bear is just one of those unfortunate bears that only gets 14 attack. So that one's kind of a little mediocre as well. But you got some upgrade abilities, you got some free cards. So overall, I would say it's a little middle of the road. I'm getting real sick of seeing Lycian Shard. Watch, I'm gonna start playing with Lycian Shard a little more and be like, wow, I love this card. But just the fact that it's like I keep hitting it over and over again, like I'd love to see a little bit more variety. I'm trying to think. So there's probably like 2 or 3 cards that I've seen in every Necreum list as well. Hantu's been one of them, so I'm pretty thrilled with that. But I feel like Caller of Souls we've seen in most of the lists. Or what else? I guess we'll find out. I guess the Engulfer as well. So we'll see if this has Caller of Souls or the Engulfer. So we got an Abyssal Shard Witch. So Shard Witch is exalted in stealth, and Abyssal is the same ability from the other sets. We got an Ardent Direhound, so love seeing these Direhounds. And it's a common creature too. I actually didn't realize that. I always thought that Direhound was a rare. We got an Arrogant Drake. This is our first Crypt Haunter. So the levels 1 and 2 are 1/1 that when it dies, you could destroy. The opponent picks one of their damaged creatures to destroy. The level 3 just reanimates the level 1 and 2. So it's a very interesting card, and it's a spirit. So that with your Direhound could be really strong. We've got Dreadbolt. We've got a Grimgaunt Predator. We've got Infernal Ritual. Portal Shade. Restless Dead with Direhound could be really nice. And a River of Souls. I feel like this is just missing like a Vampiric or a Shambling creature to be really top tier. But we have a Blighted Cersei. So we've got level 2, play Bones of Solace. Level 3, Sorrow. And level 4, we got Soul Siphon. So let's look at our Bones of Solace, which is when one of your creatures in this lane is destroyed, put an energy counter on this. If there are 4 or more, transform it. And we've got when it transforms, you deal 6 damage to an enemy player and gain 6. You give all enemy creatures -3/-3, and then destroy one of your creatures to reanimate a creature, give it +12/+12. So overall, there's actually a lot of ways to kind of destroy your own creatures with the Infernal Ritual, the Portal Shade, the Ardent Direhound. So there's definitely some pretty strong synergy there. We got the River of Souls to be able to reanimate. So I guess the cards that I keep seeing in almost every list are River of Souls and Infernal Ritual. But having Souls, Relentless Dead, and Direhound is really strong, and it creates a pretty strong engine for anything that really cares about death triggers. So if this had a Shambler, I feel like this deck would be top tier. But this is still a really strong list because you got removal, you've got lots of spirits that you could reanimate. So I'm very happy with this one. I feel like this is the strongest one I've opened out of this display. I actually don't know what I would pair it with. Let's quickly skim through these other decks. I would consider the Tarot side just because of the life gain, so you could keep reanimating Carnivorous Taro. But I feel like the rest of the deck is kind of mediocre. Although we could kind of keep reanimating that life gain spirit as well. Looking here, I feel like you're not getting enough out of this Tempest half to really justify that. And let's double check our Loyan half. Interesting. I actually don't hate this Alloyan half specifically because you could reanimate your Palladium Pulse Mage or your Sculptor with that River of Souls to be able to play other spells for free. So I feel like that could be interesting. So I think it's between the life gain abilities off the Utera or the kind of reanimate shenanigans with some of those removal based creatures or value creatures off of the Alloyan. So I guess let me know what you think would be the best pairing. Part of me would be interested to try both of them, but I do think that this is one of the stronger Necream lists that I've opened so far because we've got a Blighted Cersei, we've got a lot of ways to destroy creatures, we've got a lot of really good targets for the Direhound, the Restless Dead, and the River of Souls. So this has got so many ways to reanimate creatures. It's pretty insane. And almost every creature in here is like a spirit as well. We got 1, 2, 3, 4 spirits. So that's pretty sick. So thanks for tuning into this one. I'm really excited to start messing with this list competitively. So we'll see how that goes. But thanks for tuning in, and I'll see you in the next opening.